Hello, Mingalaba Dhamma class. My name is Hein Lang, and my Buddhist name is Sukha Balat, which means Flower of Happiness. Today, I'll be your presenter for part 1 of this Dhamma class. Today's Dhamma class is on June 14th, 2026. We meet every Sunday at 4 o'clock p.m. Arizona and Pacific Time. Anyone interested in Buddhist teachings is welcome to join us on Zoom. Use the ID 413-460-4622 and the password Buddha20, all lowercase. Remember, the Zoom ID and password will stay the same every week. First, 3 individuals will chant the Buddha Gamana Gata, Diwa Tapadi Gata, and Surya Gata. These chants will then be followed by Part 1A, offerings, taking the Tisarana and 9 precepts, the Mitta chant and meditation. Part 1B, Atitana, determination, mindfulness on death, wishing, and sharing. And Part 2, Varita chanting, discussions, questions and answers, translations from the prayer book, and some kids reciting Pali prayers from the book. Today's substitute will be Dazinja. So, Dazinja, please have your prayer books and the correct pages ready and close by. Jewel, can you please read some rules and regulations?
Before we begin, here are some important rules and regulations. 1. If you're reading a substitution or participating in Part 1A, please try to join the Zoom meeting at least 5 minutes early. 2. Please do not eat or drink anything during prayer time, as it is very disrespectful. If you're hungry, make sure to eat before joining the meeting next time. 3. Sit up straight and center yourself in front of your camera. Keep your camera on at all times, or you may be removed from the meeting. If you're not a part of the Dhamma class, you're free to turn off your camera. 4. Please don't fidget or play around, as it can disturb others who are praying. The prayer session is only 15 minutes, so please be mindful and respectful. 5. For those chanting, please chant clearly and slowly so that others can follow along. 6. We would greatly appreciate it if everyone stays respectfully until the end of the meeting.
Now, please put your hands together. We'll begin with Buddha Gamanat Gata. We believe you'll do great.
Buddha Gamanagata Angira Sasa Unaya Tatahi Setaram Sio Wajirawa Virojanti Jino Metatu Sisake Nilayo Niladanama Pitodadacha Lohita Dhamma Dhammacha Manjita Nikamimsu Papasara Sadhu 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 报完台。
Diwa Tapati Gata, Diwa Tapati Adijo, Radi Mabadi Chandima, Sanado Katiyo Tapati, Jai Tapati Brahmano, Ada Sabha Mahoratim, Buddho Tapati Tejasa, Tadisam Tejasampanam Buddham Wandami Sadaram Edena Sajawajena Soti Mehotu Sabada Soti Dehotu Sabada Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu
Suryagata Namo de Buddha Viratu Vipamutosi Sabati Sambuddha Patipanosami Tasame Saranam Bhava Tathagatam Arahantam Suryo Saranam Gato Rahu Suryam Pamunjasu Buddha Loka Nugambaka Yo Andakare Tamasi papam karo. Wero jano mandali ukatejo. Marahu kili jara mandalike. Pajamamam Rahu pamunja suriyam. Etena sachawachena. Soti me hotu sapada. Soti te hotu sapada. By one time. Gana sarapantena divena tamadamsina. Diloka dipam sambudam. Pujayami tamonudam. Wanaganda kunupetam etam kusuma santatam. Pujayami monendasa siripada saroruhe.
Adivasetu no pante paniyam parikapitam anukampamupadaya patiganatu utama Adivasetu no pante bhojanam parikapitam anukampamupadaya patiganatu utama
Ogata, 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 gayakan, wasikan, manokan, tapatota, kateito, apietoko, piapa sechin, ajonga, patama, tutiya, tatiya, the Jane, Don Jamia on, Pia Yatana, Dea Yatana, Danga Yatana, Yatanam Yatong Patoko, Ayo Ade, Ale Amya, Lasso Moe, Shiko Puso, Pumo Miansho, Katopa I Ashempia. Toya to, Acho Achang, Pelepa. Ngọc ba, ya bia she ba, ya du nyonga ba, we petite ya le ba, bia de na dianga ba doma, a ka kat ding, kin ling di pue ye, ma da ya, bo da ya, ni ban de, ya dom ya go, ya ba lo I a shin bia, Valentine. Abante tisane nasaha nawanga sampana gatam uposata silam damam yachami anukaham katawa silam teta mebante tutiyampi ahambante tisane nasaha nawanga sampana gatam uposata silam Dhamma Myajami Anugaham Ketawa Silam Deta Mebante Tatyampi Ahambante Tisanena Saha Nawenga Sampanagata Uposata Silam Dhamma Myajami Anugaham Ketawa Silam Deta Mebante Amabante Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami. Tatiampi Sangam Saranam Gacchami Amabante.
Grace and Brian, is your turn.
Panatipata Veramani Sika Padam Samadhiyami Adinadana Veramani Sika Padam Samadhiyami Abramacharya Veramani Sika Padam Samadhiyami Musawada Veramani Sika Padam Samadhiyami Suramira Maja no Suramiraya Majapamada Tana Viramani Sika Padam Samadhiyami Vikala Bojana Viramani Sika Padam Samadhiyami Nacha Gita Wadita Visuka Dasana Malaganda Vilepana Dharana Mandana Vibhusana Tana Varamani Sika Padam Samadhiyami Uchasayana Mahasayana Varamani Sika Padam Samadhiyami Meta Sahagatena Chetasa Sabapana Bhutesu Paritwa Viharanam Samadhiyami Amapante Bhavantan.
Iti piso bhagava araham sama sambuddho vijajarana sampanno sugato lokavidu anudro purisa dhammasarati sata deva manusana buddho bhagava.
Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipasiko Opaneiko Pajatam Veditapo Vinyuhe
Supatipano Bhagavato Sawaka Sango Uchupatipano Bhagavato Sawaka Sango Nyayapatipano Bhagavato Sawaka Sango Samijipatipano Bhagavato Sawaka Sango Yaditam Chatari Purisa Yugani Ata Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Savaka Sango Ahuneyo Bahuneyo Takineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuttaram Punya Ketom Lokaza Bhavantan.
Aham avirohomi abhyapajohomi anikohomi sukhiyatanam pariharami mama mata pitu acharyacha natimidacha sabrahmacharino cha avirahantu abhyapajahantu anikahuntu sukhiyatanam pariharantu amakam araka dewata imasunim awase imasunim arame araka dewata awirahuntu abhyapajahantu anikahuntu sukhiyatanam pariharantu. Sabe sata, sabe bana, sabe buta, sabe bugala, sabe atabawa, pariyapana, saba itio, sabe brisa, sabe aria, Sabe Anariya, Sabe Deva, Sabe Manusa, Sabe Winipatika, Avira Huntu, Abhyapaja Huntu, Anika Huntu, Suki Athanam Pariharantu, Dukkha Mutantu, Yada Lada Sampatito, Mawikatantu, Kamasaka.
Dazinja, can you substitute for Alexander on Purati Maya to Upari Maya?
Purati Maya Tisaya, Dakinaya Tisaya, Pachimaya Tisaya, Uttaraya Tisaya, Purati Maya Anudisaya, Dakinaya Anudisaya, Pachimaya Anudisaya, Uttaraya Anudisaya, Heti Maya Tisaya, Upari Maya Tisaya.
Sabe Sata, Sabe Bana, Sabe Bhuta, Sabe Bugala, Sabe Atabawa Pariyapana, Saba Itio, Sabe Purisa, Sabe Arya, Sabe Anariya, Sabe Dewa, Sabe Manusa, Sabe Winipatika, Awira Hontu, Abhyapacha hontu, aniga hontu, sukiyatanam pariharantu, dukkha muchantu, yada lada sampatito, maviganchantu, kamasaka.
Udam yawa bhavagacha, ado yawa awijito, samanta chakawalisu, ye sada pada vichara, abhyapaja niviraja, nidugaja nupadawa, udam yawa bhavagacha, ado yawa awijito, samanta chakawalisu, ye sata udakechara, abhyapaja niviraja, nidugaja nupadawa, udam yawa bhavagacha, ado yawa awijito, samanta chakawalisu, ye sata akasechara, abhyapaja niviraja, nidugaja nupadawa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Now we will learn how to meditate by Chloe, Meitun, Amara, Shintan, and Dazinja.
What is meditation? Meditation is a way to keep the mind cool and calm by concentrating on one object. There are many ways to meditate. In our Dhamma class, primarily we study Anapanasati and body scanning meditation. In Anapanasati, a natural focus is your own breath, which is always with you. If you simply keep feeling the breath as it comes in and as it goes out, the mind gets quieter and more peaceful. In body scanning meditation, you scan your whole body from head to toe, from the front and the back. The only trouble is, something will always take your attention away. Maybe a noise or a pain in the knee. But often your mind is the only problem. It is so full of useless stuff. Like a monkey jumping here and there, it is so hard to control. To become the master of your mind, you need some lessons, enough time, and a good place to learn how to practice. With enough practice, meditation helps replace bad thoughts and feelings with happy ones.
Why do we meditate? By learning how to control the mind, we start to get rid of negative habits and develop good mental qualities instead. If your mind is cool, you make good decisions, you don't get confused, you make less mistakes, you don't get angry or feel afraid, and you become more confident. If your mind is calm, you become peaceful and happy, you're less worried and frustrated, you don't get stressed about work or exams, you develop compassion and kindness, and you have more harmonious relationships. If your mind is concentrated, you get less distracted by useless things. You find it easier to focus and learn. You perform better in sports and games. You make better music and art, and you'll be more trustworthy.
What is the difference between samatha and vipassana? Samatha meditation and vipassana meditation are two different types of meditation. Samatha aims at achieving deep concentration, while vipassana aims at understanding both the body and the mind. In samatha meditation, the focus is solely on one object to attain deep concentration, such as by fixing the mind on a single point. In contrast, vipassana meditation involves observing various mental and physical processes as they occur. During samatha meditation, when the mind wanders, we bring it back to the chosen object. However, in vipassana meditation, when the mind wanders, we observe it without trying to control it. Only when the distraction fades do we return our focus to the primary object. These differences in focus and approach distinguish the two types of meditation.
Now we are going to practice guided muscle relaxation meditation. Before we begin, please straighten your body, center yourself in the middle of your camera, put your hands together with the right on top of the left with your thumbs connected and place them in your lap. Then close your eyes. Step 1. When I say a group of muscles, focus on the group of muscles you hear and feel the tenseness in them. Step 2. Mentally relax those group of muscles. Step 3. Feel those completely relaxed. Let's start. Your scalp muscles. All the muscles on your head are relaxed. Your forehead and eyebrows are relaxed. Your eyes, ears, nose, lips, and chin are relaxed. Your neck and shoulders are relaxed. Your arms, wrists, hands, and fingers are relaxed. Your chest and upper back are relaxed. Your abdomen and lower back are relaxed. Your hips and thighs are relaxed. Your knees and legs are relaxed. Your ankles, feet, and toes are relaxed. Now your whole body from head to toe fully relaxed. We are going to advance to Anapanasati meditation. You are going to focus on your breath. When you breathe in, a puff of air touches the tip of your nose. Make yourself aware of the touch. When you breathe out, a slightly warmer puff of air touches the tip of your nose. Make yourself aware of the touch. We are going to practice counting technique with each cycle of in-breath and out-breath. You will count from 1 to 8, and do not let your mind wander. If your mind wanders out, start counting from number 1 again. We are first going to practice together. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 1. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 2. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 3. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 4. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 5. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 6. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 7. Breathe in, aware of the touch. Breathe out, aware of the touch. 8. Elbow. Now go back to 1 and start counting on your own. We are now done meditating.
Zinja, could you sub for Anglinte on Duka Pata chat?
Duka pada jani duka. Baya pada jani baya. Soka pada jani soka. Hantu sabe pipa nino.
Nahi wewe na wewani Samantha Kuda Chanem Awewe na Trasamenti Esa Damasa Nentana Sababa Basa Akaranam Kusala Supa Sampada Sajita Pariyodapanam Etam Buddha Sasanam
Maname tuam, Jivitam me atuam, Idame ponyam, Nibanasa, Vachio hontu, Idam ponya bagam, Sabasatanam, Bajema, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. About one time.
It is now part 2 of the Dhamma class, and again, please do not eat anything. However, drinking water is now fine. So we will be starting off with program number 1, which is chant of Mahajaya Mangalagata by Mathain, Tazinjo, Linlin, Swizin, Sumya Pei, Chloe, Miano, and Wayan, Shinta, Tiffany, and Victoria.
Mahajaya Mangala Gatha Bahum Sahasa Mabini Mita Sayudadam Giri Megalam Udita Goram Sasena Mara Dana Didama Widina Chitawa Muninda Damde Dasa Pawandu De Jaya Mangalani.
Maratireka Mabiyujita Sabaratim Goram Panarawaka Makamatadayakam Kanti Sudanta Widina Jitawa Munindo Tam Te Chasa Pawatu Te Jaya Mangalani
Nalagirim Gajawaram Ati Mata Bhutam Tawagi Chakamasaniwa Sudarunantam Metampu Sekawitina Jitawa Munejo Dam Tejasa Bhavatu Te Jaya Mangalani Ukita Gagama Bihata Sudarunantam Dawam Diojana Patan Guli Malawantam Iti Bisankatamano Jitawa Munindo Tam Te Jasa Bhavatu Te Jaya Mangalani Katwana kata mudaram iwa kabiniya jinjaya tuta wajanam janakaya maje sandena soma widina chitawa munindo tam te jasa bhavatu te Jaya Mangalani Sajam Vihaya Ati Sajaka Vadaketum Vada Pirapitam Ati Anda Bhutam Panyapadipa Jalito Chitawa Munando Tam Te Jasa Bhavatu Te Jaya Mangalani Nanda Bananda Pujagan Vividam Mahidin Buddhena Deva Pujagena Dhamma Bayanta Itu Bhate Savidina Jitawa Munendo Tante Jasa Bhavatu Te Jaya Mangalani
Gaha Titi Bujagena Zataham Brahmi Midi Baka Bidanam Anagadena Widina Jito Amunindo Tam Jasa Pawatute Jaya Mangalani
Etapi Buddha Jaya Mangala Atagata
Yowa jako dina dine sarante matandi kitwana neka wiwidani jupadawani mokam sukam adika meya naro sapanyo sadhu sadhu sadhu. Wrong time. Sambuddhe gata, sambuddhe atavi sancha, dvada sancha sahasake, pancha sata sahasani, namami sirasamaham, apakavaluka ganga. Ananda Nibuddha Jina Desam Tamancha Sankancha Adarena Namamaham Namakara Nubhavena Hitva Sabe Upadave Aneka Antaraya Vinasantu Asesato. We are now moving on to part number 2, which is Answer the Questions from Buddhism for Kids by Rebecca and Cynthia.
Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Rebecca, and my Buddhist name is Metta Bali, which means keeper of loving kindness. For today's program, my sister Cynthia will be joining me. So can you please introduce yourself? Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Cynthia. My Buddhist name is Magga Bali, which means keeper of the middle path. And the individuals I'll be asking today are Shantan, Danzin, Miano, Grace, Lin, Tiffany, Noel, Meidong, William, Alexander, Shuizhen, Jewel, Mate, and Lyra. We'll be asking questions from Buddhism for Kids, so please have your book ready. Shintan, does Buddhism have a Bible?
No, instead it has many holy books called the Tipitaka or Three Baskets or Pancha Nikaya 5 collections.
That is correct, thank you. Tanzin, what did the Buddha teach people to do?
He taught people to take responsibility for their actions.
That is correct, thank you. Miano, is the Buddha a god?
No, the Buddha was a human being who became enlightened.
That is correct, thank you. Grace, what are the 3 jewels in Buddhism?
They are the Buddha, the Dhamma teachings, and the Sangha community.
That is correct, thank you. Lin, does Buddhism have a Bible?
No, instead it has many holy books called the Tipitaka 3 Baskets or Pancha Nikaya 5 collections.
That is correct, thank you. Tiffany, what did the Buddha teach people to do?
He taught people to take responsibility for their own actions.
That is correct, thank you. Noel, is the Buddha a god?
No, the Buddha was a human being who became enlightened.
That is correct, thank you. Meitong, what are the 3 jewels in Buddhism?
They are the Buddha, the Dhamma teachings, and the Sangha community.
That is correct. William, does Buddhism have a Bible?
No, instead it has many books called the Tipitaka 3 Baskets or Panja Nikaya 5 collections.
That is correct. Alexander, what did the Buddha teach people to do? Well, the answer is he taught people to take responsibility for their own actions. Shuizhen, is the Buddha a god?
No, the Buddha was a human being who became enlightened.
That is correct. Jewel, what are the 3 jewels in Buddhism?
They are the Buddha, the Dhamma teachings, and Sangha community.
That is correct. Mate, does Buddhism have a Bible?
No, instead it has many holy books called the Tipitakas, 3 baskets or Pancha Nikaya, 5 collections.
That is correct. Lyra, what did the Buddha teach people to do?
He taught people to take responsibility for their own actions.
That is correct. That is all for our program. Thank you for listening and participating.
We will now be moving on to part number 3, which is answer the questions from Poly Pathways by Dazinjo and Hilal.
Hello, Mingalaba Dhamma class. My name is Tazancho, and my Buddhist name is Janapali, which means power of concentration. Today, me and a Dhamma friend will be asking some questions. So, Hina, could you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Minglaba. My name is Hein Long, and my Buddhist name is Sukapala, which means power of happiness.
Today, we'll be asking a few individuals some questions, so everyone please be ready and prepared. Linthan, how can you find Upo Seta days?
By checking a lunar calendar or asking someone who can read it.
That is correct. Same thing. What do we do on Upo Seta days? Well, the answer is we meditate or reflect on the 8 or 9 precepts. Sandy, how often does Uposatha occur?
It occurs 4 times a lunar month on the full moon, new moon, 8th waning, and 8th waxing days.
That is correct. Alente, what does the Pali word Uposatha mean?
Absent.
Hopai. Shinki, how can you find Uposatha days?
By checking a lunar calendar or asking someone who can read it.
That is correct. Benji, what do we do on Uposatha days?
Absent.
Hopai. And Weiyan, how often does Uposatha occur?
4 times a lunar month on the full moon, new moon, 8 waning, and 8 waxing days.
That is correct. Hina, could you please ask your individuals?
Meta'u, how can you find Uposatha days? Well, the answer is by checking a lunar calendar or asking someone who can read it. Deri-san, what can we do on Uposatha days?
We meditate or reflect on the 8 or 9 precepts.
That is correct. Henry, how often does Uposatha occur?
4 times a lunar month on the full moon, new moon, 8th waning, and 8th days.
That is correct. Nyanbuntet, what does the Pali word Uposatha mean?
Then, can you repeat that?
What does the Pali word Uposatha mean?
The literary meaning is absorbance or fasting. Also, it means special days.
That is correct. Xinglang, how can you find Uposatha days?
By checking a lunar calendar or asking someone who can read it.
That is correct. Noel, what can we do on Uposatha days?
We meditate or reflect on the 8 precepts.
That is correct. Lastly, Brian, how often does Uposatha occur?
4 times a lunar month on the full moon, new moon, 8th waning, and 8th waxing days.
That is correct.
That is all, and thank you for listening.
We are now moving on to part number 4, which is presentation on Buddhism. First by Suizan, Linlin, Alente, and Thunzen, then by Shintan, Noel, and Tiffany, then by Simia Pit and Miranda, and then by Zinjo, Hila Ao, Nianta, and Emerald.
Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Suizan, and my Buddhist name is Wansap Bali, which means keeper of relatives. Joining me today is my dear sister Linlin and my dear brother Tenzin. So, Linlin, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Lemlin, and my Buddhist name is Manopali, which means keeper of minds. So, Tenzin, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Dan, and my Buddhist name is Satipala, which means the power of courage. So, Susan, what are we going to be talking about today?
We're going to be talking about the kalamas. Everyone, please listen carefully because in the end, we'll be asking questions. Once upon a time, a group of people called the kalamas were very confused. They have heard many different teachings from various teachers and didn't know which one to believe. So they went to the Buddha for advice.
Buddha told them it's okay to feel confused and have doubts. Sometimes life can be tricky and it's normal to question things. He then warned them not to believe everything they hear just because it comes from tradition, is written in books, or is said by someone who seems smart or important. Even if a teacher says something, that doesn't mean you have to accept it right away.
Instead, Buddha told the Kalamas to trust themselves. He said, if you see something that is harmful, causes suffering, or is criticized by wise people, then you should stay away from it. Don't just follow others. Decide for yourself and what is right and good.
And so the kalamas learned to think for themselves and make wise choices just as the Buddha had advised them. Now I'll be asking questions. My first question is to Shinki, and it is, why were the kalamas confused?
They heard many different teachings from various teachers and didn't know which one to believe.
That is correct. So, Lunlin, can you please ask your question?
My question is to Xingling, and it is, how did the Buddha reassure the Kalamas?
The Buddha said that life can be tricky and it's normal to question things.
That is correct. Satnanza, can you please ask your question?
My question is to Shinki, and it is, what do the Kalamas learn from the Buddha's advice?
They learn to think for themselves and make the wisest decisions.
That is correct. So, Susan, can you please ask the last question?
My last question is to Xingling, and it is, what did the Buddha warn them about?
Not believe everything that they just hear.
That's correct. That is all, and thank you for listening.
It is now Shinta, Noel, and Tiffany's turn.
Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Shintan. My Buddhist name is Moka Pali, which means freedom keeper. So today, my Dhamma friends Noah and Stephanie will be joining me. So please introduce.
Hello everyone, my name is Noel and my Buddhist name is Manapala, which means power personality. So Tiffany, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Dhamma class. My name is Tiffany. My Buddhist name is Santa Bali, which means peacekeeper. So, Shinta, what will we be talking about today?
Today we'll be talking about Kama, and please listen carefully because we have questions at the end. So I'll be going first. What is Kama? Kama is a Pali word that means action or doing. It's what we choose to do on purpose in our thoughts, words, and actions. If something happens by accident, it's not Kama because Kama is about choice.
Buddha said volition, the will to act, is Kama. Buddhists and arhats act without enchantment, so their actions don't create Kama. The mind is the most important part. Our thoughts guide our words and actions.
A careless mind makes careless actions. A kind mind makes kind actions. Karma isn't just about the past, it's also what we do right now. Our present comes from the past, and our future comes from the present.
We can always change. Someone doing wrong today can choose to do right tomorrow. Parents often say, be good and you will be happy. Do wrong and you will be unhappy.
In short, karma is cause and effect. Good brings good, bad brings bad. What we choose to do truly matters. So now we'll be asking questions. So Tiffany, what is your first question?
My first question is to Jewel, and what does karma mean?
Can you come back to me?
Okay. Noah, what is your question?
My Question to Lila is, does karma happen by accident?
No, karma is only from choices we make on purpose.
Yes, that is correct. Shintan, what is your question?
My question is to Chloe. Why is the mind important in Gamma?
Our thoughts guide our words and actions.
That's correct. And Tiffany, what is your question?
My question is to Jewel, and how does karma work?
Good actions bring good results and bad actions bring bad results.
And my last question is to Jewel, and what does karma mean?
It means our actions, what we choose to think, say, and do on purpose.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you for listening.
It is now Sia Pitt and Miranda's turn. Hello everyone, my name is Sumya Pei. My Buddha's name is Chita Bali, which means regarder of mind. Today my dear Dhamma friend Miranda will be joining me. So Miranda, can you please introduce yourself? Hello Dhamma class, my name is Miranda and my Buddhist name is Bodhi Pali, which means keeper of wisdom or keeper of enlightenment. So Sumya Pei, please start. Before we begin, we'll be asking questions in the end, so please listen carefully. What is Tipitaka? Tipitaka in Bali means 3 baskets, and it refers to the collections of Buddha's teachings organized into 3 parts. 1. Vinaya Pitaka. This contains the rules of discipline for monks, bhikkhus, and nuns, bhikkhunis, with 17 major and 210 minor rules for monks, and 25 major and 286 minor rules for nuns. It guides their conduct and behavior. 2. Sudanta Pitaka. This includes Buddha's sermons and discourses divided into 5 collections, Nikayas. 1. Dika, long discourses. 2. Majjhima, medium length. 3. Samyutta, connected sayings. 4. Anguttara, gradual sayings. And 5. Kuttaka, shorter texts, like the Dhammapada and Jataka stories. 3. Abhidhamma Pitaka. This part deals with the deeper philosophical teachings, investigating the mind, nama, and body, rupa, and exploring ultimate truths. So now we will be asking our questions. So Sinapia, please ask the first question. My first question is to Benji. What does Tipitaka mean?
Absent.
It means 3 baskets and it refers to the collection of Buddha's teachings. So Miranda, please ask the next question. My next question is to William, and it is, what is in the Vinaya Pitaka?
The Vinaya Pitaka has the rules for monks and nuns on how to behave and live.
That is correct. And then Simyapia, please ask the next question. My next question is also to William. What is in the Sudanta Pitaka?
The Sutanta Pitaka contains the Buddha's teachings, stories, and sermons.
That is correct. Thank you. So Miranda, please ask the last question. My last question is to William, and it is, what does the Abhidhamma Pitaka teach?
The Abhidhamma Pitaka explores deeper teachings about the mind and body.
That is correct, and that is all for our program. So thank you to everyone. Thank you to those who participated. And now it is the Zinjo, Hila, Nayantha, and Emma's turn.
Hello, Minglaba Dhamma class. My name is Tazanjo, and my Buddhist name is Janapali, which means power of concentration. Today, me and a few Dhamma friends will be talking about something. So, Hina, could you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Mingalaba. My name is Han Long, and my Buddhist name is Sukapalao, which means power of happiness. So, Ninye, then, could you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Minglaba. My name is Narinda, and my Buddhist name is Yoga Bali, which means keeper of energy. So, Amara, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, Minglapa. My name is Amar, and my Buddha's name is Amata Bali, which means keeper of deathlessness, and I live in Texas. So, Zinjo, what will we be talking about today?
We will be talking about the Buddha and the people of Galamas. Everyone, please listen carefully because we'll be asking a couple questions in the end. I'll start us off. At the time of the Buddha, many teachers visited the town of Kesamuda, which was located at the intersection of several trade routes. They taught a variety of beliefs and philosophies. Each teacher claimed that his own doctrine was true and criticized the teachings of others.
The people of the town, known collectively as the Galamas after the clan name, became confused by the conflicting teachings they heard. When the Buddha visited them, they asked the Buddha, who was telling the truth?
The Buddha replied, "It is good to ask questions. Do not believe something simply because other people say it. Do not believe it just because it is an old tradition. Do not believe it because many people repeat it, or because it is written in a sacred book.
Do not believe something merely because it seems reasonable, sounds convincing, or agrees with your own opinion. Do not believe it because someone presents arguments for it, because the speaker appears trustworthy, or because a respected teacher teaches it."
Instead, examine it carefully and discover the truth for yourselves. If something is unwholesome, harmful, and leads to suffering, do not follow it.
Then he asked, when people are greedy, angry, or confused, do they help others or hurt others? They hurt others, the people replied. The Buddha explained that greed, hatred, and confusion lead to suffering. Wise people avoid them.
Then he asked, "What about kindness, generosity, and understanding? They help people out bring happiness." The people answered, "That's right," said the Buddha. "When you know for yourselves that something is good, kind, and beneficial, follow it. When you know that something causes harm, let it go."
The Buddha also taught them to fill their hearts with loving kindness and compassion, joy for others, and calmness toward everyone. The people were happy with his teaching. They said, "Excellent, Buddha, we will follow your teachings and learn from you."
The Kalama story teaches us not to accept something blindly. Instead, we should examine it carefully, test it with wisdom, and choose what leads to kindness, happiness, and peace. That is all. Now we'll be asking questions. My first question is for Naritha, which is, why did the people of Kesamuda become confused?
At the time of the Buddha, many teachers visited the town of Gesamutta, which was located at crossroads. They taught different beliefs and philosophies. Each teacher claimed that his own teaching was correct and criticized the teaching of others. As a result, the people of the town, known as the Galamas, became confused by the conflicting views they've heard.
That is correct. My next question is for Thing Thing, which is, what did the Galamas ask the Buddha?
When the Buddha asked the town, the Galamas asked him who is telling the truth.
That is correct. Hina, could you please ask the next group of questions?
Amara, how did the Buddha answer their question?
The Buddha said it is good to ask questions. Do not believe something simply because you have heard it, read it, found it in holy books, or because a respected teacher says it's true. Think carefully, examine it for yourself, and see whether it is true.
That is correct. The next question is for Snowy, and it is, what question did the Buddha ask the Kalamas about greed, anger, and confusion?
The Buddha asked, when people are greedy, angry, or confused, do they help others or hurt others?
That is correct. So Zincha, could you please ask the next few questions?
My next question is for Thing Thing, which is, how did the Kalamas respond?
They replied they hurt others.
That is correct. My next question is for Mathing, which is, what did the Buddha teach about greed, hatred, and confusion?
The Buddha explained that greed, hatred, and confusion lead to suffering. Therefore, wise people avoid them.
That is correct. Hinaan, could you please ask the next group of questions?
The next question is for Amara, and it is, what did the Buddha ask about kindness, generosity, and understanding?
He asked, what about kindness, generosity, and understanding?
That is correct. The next question is for Snowy, and it is, what was the Kala Ma's answer?
They answered, they help people and bring happiness.
That is correct. So Zinjal, could you please ask the next few questions?
My next question is for Ninyuthan, which is, what conclusion did the Buddha draw from this?
The Buddha said, that's right. When you know for yourselves that something is good, kind, and beneficial, follow it. When you know that something causes harm, let it go.
That is correct. My next question is for Amara, which is, what other teaching did the Buddha give the Kalamas?
The Buddha taught them to fill their hearts with loving kindness, compassion, joy for the happiness of others, and calmness toward everyone.
That is correct. Hinaan, could you please ask the last group of questions?
The next question is for Tain Tain, and it is, how did the Kalamas respond to the Buddha's teaching?
They were very pleased and said, excellent Buddha, we'll follow your teaching and learn from you.
That is correct. The last question is for Snowy, and it is, what lesson can we learn from the Kalamat story?
The Kalama story teaches us not to accept something blindly. Instead, we should examine it carefully, test it with wisdom, and choose what leads to kindness, happiness, and peace.
That is correct.
That is all, and thank you for listening.
We're now moving on to part number 5, which is choose the correct one out of the given answers by Hank and Hima.
My name is Hank, and my Buddhist name is Sudha Bala, which means the power of knowledge. Today I'll be joined by my twin sister, so can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Hima. My Buddhist name is Hema Pali, which means peacekeeper.
Today we'll be asking questions to Alante, Victoria, Emerald, Hainmin, Mio, Henry, Keishin, Sandy, Nyabunte, Lintan, Weiyan, Metau, Martin, William, Kamapali, and Snowy. To begin with, Alante, what does it mean to take refuge in the Buddha?
It means we trust the Buddha as our guide.
And that is correct. Victoria, why do we take refuge in the Tisarana?
Because they help us find true happiness and peace.
And that is correct. Emerald, what is the Dhamma?
The Dhamma is a Buddhist teaching that helps us find happiness and peace.
That is correct. Hainmin, who is the Buddha?
The Buddha is a wise teacher who showed the way to end suffering.
And that is correct. Mio, what does it mean to take refuge in the Buddha?
It means we trust the Buddha as our guide.
And that is correct. Henry, why do we take refuge in the Tisarana?
Because they help us find true happiness and peace.
And that is correct. Kishin, what is the Dhamma?
The Dhamma is a Buddha's teaching that helps us live a good life.
And that is correct. And Sandy, who is the Buddha?
The Buddha is a wise teacher who showed the way to end suffering.
And that is correct.
Nyambote, what does it mean to take refuge in the Buddha?
It means we trust the Buddha as our guide.
That is correct. Lintan, why do we take refuge in the Tisarana?
Because they help us find true happiness and peace.
That is correct. Weiyan, what is the Dhamma?
The Dhamma is a Buddha teaching to help us live a good life.
That is correct. Metau, who is the Buddha?
The Buddha is a wise teacher who showed us the way to end suffering.
That is correct. Martin, what does it mean to take refuge in the Buddha?
It means we trust the Buddha as our guide.
That is correct. William, why do we take refuge in the Tisarana?
Because they help us find true happiness and peace.
That is correct. Kamapali, What is the Dhamma?
The Dhamma is the Buddha's teachings that help us live a good life.
That is correct. Snowy, who is the Buddha?
The Buddha is a wise teacher who showed the way to end suffering.
That is correct.
Thank you for listening.
We're now at the end of the Dhamma class, so everyone please put your hands together and recite Buddha Sasanam Chiram Tetatu 3 times. Buddha Sasanam Chiram Tetatu, may the Buddha's teachings last long. Buddha Sasanam Chiram Tetatu, may the Buddha's teachings last long. Buddha Sasanam Chiram Tetatu, may the Buddha's teachings last long. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. That is all. Thank you for coming.